What if everything you have been told about getting rich is incomplete or even wrong? What if the real path to wealth is not hidden in secret formulas, lucky breaks, or complicated strategies, but in simple actions repeated over time? Most people spend their entire lives chasing money, yet very few truly understand how it works. They believe wealth is only for the lucky, the highly educated, or the already privileged. But the truth is different. Wealth is not reserved for a special group of people. It is built by those who understand a few timeless principles and follow them with patience and discipline. It is not about working the hardest, because many people work hard and still struggle. It is not about earning the highest income, because many high earners remain broke. And it is not about taking big risks, because real wealth is often built by avoiding unnecessary risks. As Warren Buffett once said, the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. This means wealth is less about doing more and more about doing the right things again and again. Think about this for a moment. Every financial decision you make, no matter how small, shapes your future. The way you spend, the way you save, the way you think about money, all of it quietly builds your financial life. These small decisions may seem unimportant today, but over time, they create massive results. Many people want quick success. They want fast money, instant results, and easy wins. But wealth does not work like that. It grows slowly, almost invisibly at first, and then powerfully over time. It rewards patience, discipline, and consistency. As Charlie Munger said, the first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unnecessarily. This simple idea explains why some people build lasting wealth while others keep starting over again and again. In this journey, you will learn that getting rich is not only about money, it is about thinking clearly, controlling emotions, and making better decisions than most people. It is about building habits that support your future instead of destroying it. But before you learn strategies, investments, or systems, you must start with something deeper. Because every action you take with money comes from the way you think about it. If your thinking is wrong, your results will also be wrong. If your mindset is strong, everything else becomes easier. This is why the journey to wealth always begins in your mind. And that is exactly where we are going next. Chapter 1. The right mindset comes first. Before money grows in your bank account, it grows in your mind. Every result you see in life begins as a thought. If your thinking about money is weak, confused, or negative, your financial life will reflect that. If your thinking is clear, patient, and focused, your financial life will slowly improve. Most people never question their beliefs about money. They grow up hearing things like money is hard to earn, rich people are greedy, or wealth is only for a few lucky people. These ideas quietly become part of their mindset. And without realizing it, they start making decisions that keep them stuck. As Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you cannot, you are right. This is not just motivation, it is reality. Your beliefs guide your actions, and your actions create your results. A poor mindset focuses on limitations. It says things like, I cannot afford this, I will never be rich, or this is too risky. This kind of thinking creates fear and stops action. Over time, it builds a life of missed opportunities. A wealthy mindset is different. It asks better questions. Instead of saying, I cannot afford this, it asks, how can I afford this? Instead of fearing risk, it learns to understand and manage it. Instead of avoiding problems, it looks for solutions. This does not mean ignoring reality or taking blind risks. It means choosing to think in a way that opens doors instead of closing them. As Carol Dweck explains through the idea of a growth mindset, people who believe they can improve are more likely to succeed than those who believe their abilities are fixed. This applies strongly to money. If you believe you can learn, grow, and improve your financial life, you will take actions that move you forward. Another important part of mindset is patience. We live in a world that wants everything fast. Fast money, fast success, fast results. But real wealth does not work this way. It grows slowly and steadily. Many people start strong but give up when they do not see quick results. They invest for a short time, then stop. They save for a few months, then spend everything. They try one idea, fail once, and quit. This is not because they are not capable. It is because their mindset is not prepared for the long journey. As Charlie Munger said, the big money is not in the buying or selling, but in the waiting. Waiting is difficult, but it is where most of the rewards are created. Discipline is another key part of mindset. It is the ability to do what is right even when it is not easy. Saving money instead of spending it. Investing regularly instead of waiting for the perfect time. Learning instead of avoiding effort. Discipline may feel uncomfortable in the short term, but it creates freedom in the long term. Emotional control is equally important. Money decisions are often driven by fear and greed. People panic when markets fall and get excited when prices rise. They buy at the top and sell at the bottom, repeating the same cycle again and again. A strong mindset stays calm. It understands that ups and downs are normal. It focuses on long-term goals instead of short-term noise. As Warren Buffett said, "Be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful." This is not easy, but it shows the power of thinking differently from the crowd. Your environment also shapes your mindset. If you are surrounded by people who complain, fear money, or avoid growth, it will affect you. If you are surrounded by people who think positively, take action, and learn continuously, it will lift you. Choose your environment carefully. What you hear daily becomes what you believe. Gratitude is another hidden strength. Many people focus only on what they do not have. This creates frustration and stress, but when you focus on what you already have, you build confidence and clarity. From that place, it becomes easier to grow. Finally, take responsibility for your financial life. Do not blame the economy, your job, or your past. While these things can affect you, they do not define your future. The moment you take responsibility, you take control. As Tony Robbins said, it is not what we get, but who we become, what we contribute, that gives meaning to our lives. Wealth is not just about money. It is about becoming a person who can create, manage, and grow it. Everything you will learn next depends on this foundation. Strategies, investments, and opportunities only work when your mindset is ready. Because in the end, money follows mindset. And once your thinking changes, your life begins to change with it. Chapter 2. Understand what money really is. Money is one of the most talked about things in the world, yet one of the least understood. People spend their lives chasing it, worrying about it, and comparing it, but very few stop to ask a simple question. What is money really? At its core, money is a tool. It is a way to store value and exchange effort. When you work, you are not just earning currency, you are converting your time, energy, and skills into something that can be used later. This means money represents a part of your life. Once you understand this, your relationship with money begins to change. You stop wasting it on things that do not matter. You start using it more carefully because you realize you are spending pieces of your time. Many people believe money is the goal, but money is not the final destination. It is a bridge that helps you reach freedom, security, and choice. It gives you the ability to decide how you live, where you work, and what you do with your time. As Naval Ravikant says, money is not the root of all evil. Money is a tool for freedom. If used wisely, it can create a life where you are not controlled by survival, but guided by purpose. Another important truth is that money itself does not make you rich. What matters is how you use it. Some people earn a lot but spend even more. Others earn less but manage it wisely and build wealth over time. Being rich is not about income alone. It is about the gap between what you earn and what you keep. This is why understanding assets and liabilities is so important. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. For example, an investment that grows or gives income is an asset. A purchase that only costs money without giving anything back is a liability. As Robert Kiyosaki explains, the rich focus on buying assets, while others keep buying liabilities thinking they are assets. This simple difference creates completely different financial futures. Another key idea is that money flows. It moves constantly from one place to another, from those who do not understand it to those who do, from those who act emotionally to those who act patiently. As Warren Buffett said, the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. This shows that understanding money is not just about knowledge, it is about behavior. You must also understand that money grows through systems, not effort alone. Working harder has limits because your time is limited. But when you use money wisely, it can grow without your constant effort. This is where investing becomes important. Investing allows your money to work for you, even when you are not working. It creates a system where your wealth can grow over time. Many people avoid this because they think it is complicated or risky. But the real risk is not learning how money works, because without this knowledge, you remain dependent on active income forever. Another misunderstanding is thinking that money will solve all problems. While money can remove many struggles, it cannot replace purpose, relationships, or inner peace. If you do not manage your thoughts and habits, more money will only increase your problems. Money amplifies who you are. If you are disciplined, it will reward you. If you are careless, it will expose you. This is why financial education is so important. Schools often teach how to earn money, but not how to manage or grow it. You must take responsibility for learning these skills yourself. Start by observing how money moves in your life. Where does it come from? Where does it go? What decisions increase it, and what decisions reduce it? This awareness alone can change your financial future. Also understand the difference between price and value. Price is what you pay. Value is what you receive. Many people focus only on price, but wealthy thinkers focus on value. They are willing to spend on things that create long-term benefit and avoid spending on things that only bring short-term pleasure. As Benjamin Franklin said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. This shows that the best use of money is not always in buying things, but in improving yourself. Over time, your understanding of money becomes your greatest advantage. You begin to see opportunities where others see confusion. You make decisions with clarity instead of emotion. You build systems instead of relying only on effort. And slowly, your relationship with money changes. It is no longer something you chase. It becomes something you manage, grow, and use with purpose. This understanding sets the stage for everything that follows. Because once you truly understand money, you stop misusing it. And when you stop misusing it, you begin to keep more of it. Which brings us to the next step in the journey. Chapter 3. Spend less than you earn. This is the simplest rule of getting rich, yet one of the hardest for many people to follow. No matter how much you earn, if you spend more than you earn, you will always struggle. And no matter how little you earn, if you spend less and manage wisely, you can begin to build wealth. At first, this may sound obvious, but in real life, it is not easy. We live in a world designed to make us spend. Advertisements, social pressure, and constant comparison push us to buy more than we need. People often spend money to impress others, not to improve their lives. As Will Rogers once said, too many people spend money they have not earned, to buy things they do not want, to impress people they do not like. This simple truth explains why many people stay stuck financially. Spending is emotional. It feels good in the moment. Buying something new creates excitement and temporary happiness. But this feeling fades quickly, while the financial impact remains. This is why awareness is the first step. You must understand where your money is going. Not in a general way, but clearly and honestly. Track your expenses. Look at your habits, notice what is necessary and what is not. When you become aware, you start to see patterns. Small daily expenses that seem harmless begin to add up. Unplanned purchases slowly reduce your ability to save. Without realizing it, money slips away. Spending less does not mean living a life of stress or deprivation. It means choosing wisely. It means spending on what truly matters and cutting what does not. It is about control, not restriction. As Warren Buffett said, if you buy things you do not need, soon you will have to sell things you need. This shows the long-term impact of careless spending. One powerful idea is to delay purchases. When you feel the urge to buy something, wait. Give yourself time to think. Often, the desire fades, and you realize you did not need it. Another important habit is to pay yourself first. Before you spend on anything else, set aside a portion of your income for saving and investing. This ensures that building wealth becomes your priority, not an afterthought. Many people save what is left after spending. But often, nothing is left. Instead, spend what is left after saving. This small change creates a big difference over time. Lifestyle inflation is another hidden danger. When income increases, spending often increases even faster. People upgrade their lifestyle, buy more expensive things, and raise their expectations. As a result, they remain in the same financial position despite earning more. Avoid this trap. When your income grows, let your savings and investments grow faster. Keep your lifestyle stable while your wealth increases. Also understand the difference between needs and wants. Needs are essential for living. Wants are desires that improve comfort but are not necessary. Both are part of life, but balance is important. If most of your money goes to wants, your future suffers. If you manage your wants wisely, your future improves. As Morgan Housel explains, spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. True wealth is often invisible. It is built quietly, not displayed loudly. Another mindset shift is to value freedom over appearance. Many people choose a lifestyle that looks rich but keeps them financially trapped. They own expensive things but have no control over their time. Real wealth gives you freedom, freedom to make choices, to take breaks, to explore opportunities. And that freedom comes from spending less than you earn. It is also important to build habits, not rely on motivation. Motivation changes, but habits stay. Create systems that make saving automatic and spending intentional. Over time, these small habits become powerful. They create a gap between what you earn and what you spend. And that gap is where wealth begins. Remember, wealth is not built by one big decision. It is built by many small decisions made consistently. Every time you choose to spend wisely, you move closer to financial freedom. This chapter is not about limiting your life. It is about designing a better one. A life where your money supports your goals instead of controlling you. Because once you learn to keep more of what you earn, you create the foundation for growth. And that leads us to the next step. Chapter 4. The Power of Saving. Saving is where wealth truly begins. Before investing, before building multiple income streams, before any advanced strategy, there is one simple habit that creates the base of everything. That habit is saving. Many people underestimate saving because it looks small and slow. They think real wealth comes from big investments or sudden success. But without saving, none of those opportunities can be taken. Saving is what gives you the ability to act when the right moment comes. Saving is not just about money. It is about discipline, control, and respect for your future. Every time you save, you are choosing your future over your present impulse. As Warren Buffett said, "Do not save what is left after spending, spend what is left after saving." This one idea can completely change your financial life. When you treat saving as a priority, it becomes automatic. When you treat it as optional, it rarely happens. One of the biggest benefits of saving is security. Life is unpredictable. Unexpected expenses, emergencies, and changes can happen at any time. Without savings, even a small problem can become a big crisis. But with savings, you create a safety cushion. You gain peace of mind. You reduce stress. You give yourself time to think and act wisely instead of reacting in panic. This is often called an emergency fund. It is money set aside for unexpected situations. It is not for spending on desires, but for protecting your stability. Another important benefit of saving is opportunity. Opportunities often come without warning. A good investment, a business idea, or a chance to learn something valuable. If you do not have savings, you cannot take advantage of these moments. Saving prepares you for opportunities before they arrive. As Peter Drucker said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Saving is one of the simplest ways to create your future. Many people struggle with saving because they try to save large amounts suddenly. This feels difficult and unsustainable. Instead, start small and stay consistent. Even a small portion of your income saved regularly can grow over time. The key is not the size, but the habit. Consistency matters more than intensity. Automation can help a lot. Set up a system where a part of your income is saved automatically. This removes the need for constant decision-making. It turns saving into a routine instead of a struggle. Another powerful idea is to give your savings a purpose. Do not just save without direction. Assign meaning to your savings. It could be for security, investment, education, or future goals. When your savings have a purpose, it becomes easier to stay committed. Also, separate your savings from your spending money. If everything is in one place, it becomes tempting to use it. Keeping savings in a different account or form creates a natural barrier. Over time, you begin to see your savings grow. This creates confidence. It builds momentum. It shows you that progress is possible. Saving also teaches delayed gratification. This is the ability to resist short-term pleasure for long-term gain. It is one of the most important skills in building wealth. As Charlie Munger often emphasized, self-control and discipline are more important than intelligence in financial success. Saving is where this discipline is practiced daily. Another important point is that saving alone is not the final goal. It is the starting point. Saving creates the capital that can later be invested. Without saving, there is nothing to invest. Think of saving as planting seeds. At first, it may not look impressive, but these seeds are what grow into something much larger in the future. Many people ignore saving because they want faster results. They jump directly into risky investments or quick schemes, but without a solid foundation, these efforts often fail. Saving gives you stability. It gives you patience. It prepares you for the next step in a strong and steady way. It is also important to celebrate small progress. Do not wait for a large amount to feel proud. Every step forward matters. Every saved amount is a move toward freedom. Over time, saving becomes part of your identity. You no longer force yourself to save. You become a person who naturally manages money wisely. And that is when everything begins to change. Because once you build the habit of saving, you are no longer living only for today. You are building for tomorrow. You are creating options, security, and growth. Saving is not about restriction. It is about preparation. It is about giving your future self a better life. And once you have built this foundation, you are ready for the next powerful step. Chapter 5. Invest early and consistently. Saving gives you a strong foundation, but investing is what builds real wealth. If saving is planting seeds, investing is growing a forest. It is the process that turns your money into something bigger over time. Many people save money but never invest it. They keep it idle, thinking it is safe. But in reality, money that is not growing slowly loses its value due to inflation. This means your purchasing power decreases over time. Investing solves this problem. It allows your money to grow faster than inflation. It gives your savings a purpose and direction. The most important idea in investing is to start early. Time is your greatest advantage. The earlier you begin, the more time your money has to grow and compound. Even small amounts invested early can become large over time. But if you delay, you lose your most valuable asset, which is time. As Warren Buffett said, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. This shows the power of starting early and staying patient. Many people wait for the perfect time to invest. They think they need more money, more knowledge, or the perfect market condition. But the perfect time rarely comes. The truth is simple. The best time to start investing is as soon as possible. Consistency is just as important as starting early. Investing once is not enough. Wealth is built by investing regularly over time. This approach is often called disciplined investing. You invest a fixed amount regularly, regardless of market conditions. Sometimes the market will be high, sometimes low. But over time, your investments average out and grow steadily. This removes the stress of trying to predict the market. It turns investing into a habit instead of a gamble. As John Bogle advised, do not look for the needle in the haystack, just buy the haystack. This means instead of trying to pick perfect investments, focus on broad and consistent investing. Another important principle is patience. Investing is not about quick profits. It is about long-term growth. Markets go up and down. There will be times when your investments lose value. This is normal. Many people panic during these times and sell their investments. But this is one of the biggest mistakes. Selling during fear often locks in losses. A wise investor stays calm. They understand that short-term changes are part of the process. They focus on the long-term trend. As Benjamin Graham said, In the short run, the market is a voting machine, but in the long run, it is a weighing machine. This means short-term movements are emotional, but long-term results reflect real value. Another key idea is to keep things simple. Many people think investing requires complex strategies, but simple approaches often work best. Investing in broad markets, staying consistent, and avoiding unnecessary changes can outperform complicated methods. Also, avoid the temptation of quick gains. High-risk investments promising fast returns often lead to losses. If something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Focus on steady growth instead of sudden success. Diversification is another important concept. This means spreading your investments across different areas. It reduces risk and protects your wealth. Do not put all your money in one place. Balance your investments so that one loss does not affect everything. As Ray Dalio said, the only free lunch in investing is diversification. This shows how important it is to manage risk wisely. It is also important to keep costs low. High fees and frequent trading can reduce your returns. The more you keep your costs under control, the more your money grows. Stay focused on your plan. Avoid reacting to news, trends, or opinions. The market will always have noise, but successful investors stay disciplined. Another powerful mindset is to think like an owner. When you invest, you are not just buying numbers on a screen. You are owning a part of a business or asset. This mindset helps you stay calm during fluctuations. It reminds you that real value takes time to grow. Over time, investing becomes easier. You understand the patterns. You trust the process. You stop reacting emotionally and start acting logically. The combination of starting early and staying consistent creates powerful results. Small investments grow into large wealth. Time does most of the work. Remember, investing is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. Every amount you invest is a step toward financial freedom. Every year you stay invested strengthens your future. And once you understand this process, you begin to see the true power behind wealth creation. Because investing is not just about money. It is about giving your future self more choices, more freedom, and more control. Now that you understand how to grow money, it is time to understand the force that makes it grow faster than anything else. Chapter 6. The Magic of Compounding. Compounding is the quiet force behind great wealth. It works slowly, almost invisibly at first, and then suddenly with great power. Many people ignore it because it does not show quick results. But those who understand it and respect it often achieve extraordinary outcomes. Compounding means your money earns returns, and those returns begin to earn returns of their own. It is growth built on growth. It is like a snowball rolling down a hill, starting small but becoming bigger and stronger over time. At the beginning, the progress feels small. You may not notice much change. This is where most people lose patience and give up. They think it is not working. But what they do not see is that compounding needs time to show its true power. The early stage is slow, but the later stage is powerful. As Albert Einstein is often credited with saying, compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it earn it, and those who do not pay it. This idea applies not only to money, but also to habits, knowledge, and actions. Small improvements repeated daily can create massive results over time. In investing, compounding rewards consistency. The longer your money stays invested, the more it grows. Interrupting this process reduces its power. Many people make the mistake of stopping and starting. They invest for a while, then withdraw. They react to fear, news, or short-term losses. Each time they interrupt compounding, they reset their progress. As Charlie Munger said, the first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unnecessarily. This shows that patience is more important than constant action. Another important factor is time. Time is the fuel that powers compounding. The more time you give your investments, the stronger the results. This is why starting early is so important. Even small amounts, when given enough time, can grow into something significant. Imagine two people. One starts early with small investments, and the other starts later with larger amounts. Often, the one who started early ends up with more wealth simply because of time. Compounding also teaches an important lesson about consistency. It is not about making one big move. It is about making small, steady moves over a long period. This is why regular investing, saving, and learning matter so much. Each action may seem small, but together they create powerful results. Another key idea is reinvestment. When you earn returns, instead of spending them, you invest them again. This accelerates growth. Spending your returns slows down compounding. Reinvesting them speeds it up. As Warren Buffett built much of his wealth through long-term compounding, his success shows what is possible when patience and discipline come together. It is also important to protect compounding. Avoid unnecessary risks that can cause large losses. A big loss can destroy years of progress. For example, if you lose a large part of your investment, it takes much more effort to recover. This is why steady growth is better than risky gains. Compounding works best when it is protected and allowed to grow steadily. Another mistake people make is expecting quick results. They compare themselves to others and feel discouraged. They forget that compounding takes time. Trusting the process is essential. Even when progress seems slow, it is still happening. Think of compounding like planting a tree. At first, there is little to see, but beneath the surface, roots are growing. With time, the tree becomes strong and visible. The same happens with wealth. The early stage is invisible, but the later stage is powerful. Compounding also rewards discipline. It requires you to stay consistent, avoid distractions, and remain focused on long-term goals. This is not easy in a world full of noise and quick opportunities, but those who stay disciplined benefit the most. As Naval Ravikant says, all the returns in life come from compound interest, whether in money, relationships, or knowledge. This shows how powerful this principle is in every area of life. Over time, compounding creates a shift. Your money begins to grow faster than your effort. Your past actions start working for you. This is when wealth building becomes easier. Not because you are doing more, but because your system is working. The key is to start, stay consistent, and be patient. Do not interrupt the process. Do not chase quick results. Let time do its work, because once compounding starts to accelerate, the results can be life-changing. And what once seemed slow and small becomes strong and unstoppable. Now that you understand how money grows, it is time to learn how to protect it from one of the biggest threats. Chapter 7. Avoid debt traps. Debt can be useful, but it can also be dangerous. Used wisely, it can help you grow. Used carelessly, it can keep you trapped for years. Many people do not realize that debt is not just about money. It is about future time. When you take on debt, you are promising your future effort to pay for your present decisions. This means you are spending tomorrow's energy today. At first, debt often feels easy. You get what you want immediately. You do not feel the full cost right away. But over time, the burden grows. Payments increase, interest builds, and pressure rises. This is how people slowly enter a debt trap. Not through one big mistake, but through many small and repeated decisions. As Dave Ramsey often teaches, debt is not a tool for freedom. It is a tool that can take your freedom away if misused. Understanding this is the first step to avoiding it. There are two broad types of debt. One type can help you grow. The other type holds you back. Good debt is usually connected to something that can increase your income or value over time. For example, education that builds valuable skills or investments that generate returns. Bad debt is usually linked to consumption, buying things that lose value and do not generate income. This includes unnecessary loans, high-interest credit use, and impulsive spending. The problem is that bad debt is often easier to take. It is quick, convenient, and widely available. But it comes with a hidden cost. Interest is what makes debt dangerous. When you borrow money, you pay back more than you took. Over time, this extra cost grows. If not managed properly, interest can work against you just as powerfully as compounding works for you. Instead of building wealth, it slowly reduces it. As Warren Buffett has advised, avoid debt, especially high-interest debt, because it can eat away your financial future. One of the biggest risks of debt is that it creates dependency. You begin to rely on borrowed money to maintain your lifestyle. Instead of building wealth, you are constantly catching up. This creates stress and limits your choices. You may feel stuck in a job or situation because you have obligations to pay. Avoiding debt traps starts with awareness. Before taking any loan, ask yourself a simple question. Is this helping me grow, or is this just satisfying a short-term desire? If the answer is short-term, it is likely not worth it. Another powerful habit is to delay borrowing. Give yourself time to think before making a decision. Often the urgency fades, and you realize you do not need it. Also focus on building your savings. When you have savings, you reduce your need to borrow. You handle emergencies and opportunities without relying on debt. If you already have debt, do not ignore it. Face it with clarity and a plan. List all your debts. Understand the interest rates. Start paying them off systematically. Focus on high-interest debt first. This reduces the overall burden faster. Discipline and consistency are key here. It may take time, but every payment moves you closer to freedom. As Robert Kiyosaki often points out, it is not how much money you make, but how much money you keep. Debt reduces what you keep. Another important idea is to live within your means. Do not use debt to support a lifestyle you cannot afford. True financial strength comes from control, not appearance. Many people fall into the trap of comparison. They see others spending and feel the need to match them. But often, what you see is not reality. It may be supported by debt, not true wealth. As Morgan Housel explains, the hardest financial skill is getting the goalpost to stop moving. If your desires keep increasing, debt becomes more likely. Learn to be satisfied with what truly matters. Focus on long-term freedom instead of short-term pleasure. It is also important to understand that avoiding debt is not about fear. It is about control. It is about making conscious decisions that protect your future. Used carefully, debt can be a tool. Used carelessly, it becomes a trap. The goal is not to avoid all risk, but to avoid unnecessary risk. To use money in a way that supports your growth, not limits it. Over time, staying away from bad debt gives you a strong advantage. You keep more of what you earn. You reduce stress. You increase your flexibility. And most importantly, you stay in control of your financial life. Because wealth is not just about how much you earn or invest. It is also about what you avoid. And once you protect yourself from debt traps, you are ready to move forward with strength and clarity. Chapter 8. Build multiple income sources. Relying on a single source of income is one of the biggest risks in modern life. It may feel safe when everything is stable, but one change can affect everything. A job loss, a business slowdown, or an unexpected event can suddenly reduce your income. This is why building multiple income sources is so powerful. It creates stability, flexibility, and growth. Instead of depending on one stream, you create several paths through which money flows into your life. As Robert Kiyosaki teaches, the rich do not rely on a single paycheck. They build multiple streams of income. This idea is simple, but it changes everything. There are different types of income. The first is active income. This is money you earn by working. It requires your time and effort. The second is passive income. This is money that comes in with little ongoing effort after the initial work is done. It may come from investments, businesses, or systems you have built. The goal is not to replace your active income immediately. The goal is to slowly build additional streams alongside it. Start with what you have. Your current job or work is your foundation. Use it to support your initial savings and investments. Then begin to explore ways to create extra income. This could be through skills, small businesses, or investments. As Naval Ravikant says, you will not get rich renting out your time. You must own equity in something that grows. This means owning a part of something that can earn even when you are not working. One way to build additional income is through skills. If you have a skill that others need, you can offer it beyond your main job. This can create a second stream of income. Over time, skills can grow into opportunities. Opportunities can grow into businesses. Another way is through investments. When you invest your money, it begins to generate returns. These returns become another source of income. This is where earlier habits like saving and investing become powerful. They allow you to create income without additional effort. Business is another path. A small business, even if started part-time, can grow into a significant income source. It requires effort in the beginning, but with time, it can become more independent. The key is not to do everything at once. Focus on building one additional stream at a time. Give it attention, grow it, and stabilize it before moving to the next. Many people try too many things at once and end up overwhelmed. Simplicity and focus are more effective. Another important idea is reinvestment. When you earn from a new source, do not spend all of it. Use a part of it to build more income streams. This creates a cycle. One source helps create another. Over time, your income network becomes stronger. It is also important to be patient. Multiple income streams do not appear overnight. They are built step by step. At first, the extra income may be small. It may not seem significant, but with time, it grows. As Warren Buffett built his wealth through multiple investments in businesses, his journey shows the power of gradual growth. Another benefit of multiple income sources is freedom. When you are not dependent on one source, you have more control over your choices. You can take risks, explore new ideas, and make decisions with confidence. It also reduces stress. If one source slows down, others can support you. This creates financial stability. Diversification of income is similar to diversification in investing. It spreads risk and increases security. However, it is important to choose quality over quantity. Do not build weak or unstable income streams just for the sake of having many. Focus on strong, reliable, and meaningful sources. Also, avoid chasing quick money. Some opportunities may promise fast income but carry high risk. Stay focused on sustainable and long-term growth. Another key point is time management. Building multiple income streams requires effort. You must manage your time wisely. Balance your main work, additional efforts, and rest. Burnout can slow your progress. Consistency is more important than intensity. As Tim Ferriss suggests, focus on effectiveness, not just busyness. Doing the right things matters more than doing many things. Over time, your income structure begins to change. You move from dependence to independence, from working only for money to having money work for you. This shift is powerful. It changes how you see work, time, and life. Eventually, some of your income may become fully passive. It continues even when you are not actively working. This is one of the key goals of wealth building. To create a system where your income supports your life, not the other way around. Remember, the journey begins small. One extra source, one small step. But with patience and consistency, it grows into something much larger. Multiple income streams are not just about earning more. They are about creating stability, freedom, and long-term growth. They protect you from uncertainty and open doors to new opportunities. And once you begin to build them, you will realize that wealth is not a single path. It is a network of choices, efforts, and systems working together. Now that you understand how to create income, it is time to understand how to increase your value even further. Chapter 9. Learn valuable skills. Your income grows when your value grows. This is one of the most important truths about wealth. Money follows value. If you increase your ability to create value, your ability to earn also increases. Many people focus only on working harder. They try to put in more hours, more effort, more energy, but effort alone has limits. There are only so many hours in a day. What truly changes your financial life is not just how hard you work, but how valuable your work is. As Jim Rohn said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. This means your growth as a person is more important than your current role. Skills are the tools that increase your value. They allow you to solve problems, create opportunities, and contribute in meaningful ways. The more useful your skills, the more people are willing to pay for them. There are different types of skills. Some are technical, like writing, coding, designing, or analyzing. Others are human skills, like communication, thinking, leadership, and decision-making. Both types are important. Technical skills help you perform tasks. Human skills help you connect, influence, and grow. As Naval Ravikant explains, specific knowledge is the key to wealth. This means knowledge that is unique, practical, and valuable in the real world. Specific knowledge cannot always be taught in traditional ways. It is often built through curiosity, experience, and continuous learning. One of the most powerful skills is communication. The ability to express your ideas clearly can open many doors. It helps you share your value with others. It helps you build relationships and opportunities. Another key skill is problem solving. Every business, every job, and every opportunity is built around solving problems. If you can solve important problems, you become valuable. Thinking is also a skill. Clear thinking helps you make better decisions. It helps you avoid mistakes and see opportunities. As Charlie Munger emphasized, developing a broad understanding of different fields helps you think better and make smarter decisions. Learning valuable skills requires time and effort. There is no shortcut, but the rewards are long-lasting. Start by identifying what interests you. Then ask yourself, how can this skill create value for others? Focus on areas where your interest and market demand meet. Consistency is key. Learning a little every day is more powerful than learning a lot once in a while. Small improvements build over time. Also, practice is essential. Knowledge without action has little value. Apply what you learn. Make mistakes and improve. Another important idea is to stay adaptable. The world changes constantly. New technologies, new industries, and new opportunities appear. If you stop learning, your value may decrease. If you keep learning, your value continues to grow. As Peter Drucker said, knowledge has to be improved, challenged, and increased constantly, or it vanishes. Learning also increases your confidence. When you know you have valuable skills, you approach opportunities with strength. You are not limited by fear. It also gives you independence. With strong skills, you are not dependent on one job or one source of income. You can create opportunities wherever you go. Another benefit is that skills compound over time. Each new skill builds on the previous ones. Together, they create a powerful combination. For example, if you combine communication, thinking, and a technical skill, your value multiplies. This combination makes you unique and difficult to replace. As Scott Adams suggests, you do not need to be the best at one thing. Being good at multiple useful skills can make you very valuable. It is also important to avoid distractions. There are endless things to learn, but not all of them are useful. Focus on skills that have real-world value. Ask yourself, does this skill help me solve problems, create income, or grow as a person? If the answer is yes, it is worth your time. Mentorship can also help. Learning from people who are ahead of you can save time and effort. They can guide you, correct you, and inspire you. But remember, learning is your responsibility. No one else can do it for you. Over time, your skills begin to shape your life. They influence your income, your opportunities, and your confidence. They also change how you see the world. You begin to notice patterns, connections, and possibilities that others may miss. This is when you move from simply working to creating value. And when you create value, money follows naturally. Skills are one of the few things that cannot be taken away from you. They stay with you, grow with you, and support you in every stage of life. They are the foundation of long-term success. Because in the end, wealth is not just about what you have. It is about what you can do and who you can become. And as your skills grow, your ability to build and manage wealth grows with them. Now that you understand how to increase your value, it is time to learn how to protect it from one of the biggest internal challenges. Chapter 10. Control your emotions. Money is not only a numbers game, it is a behavior game. Most financial decisions are not made with logic alone. They are influenced by emotions. Fear, greed, excitement, and impatience often guide actions more than knowledge. This is why many people know what to do but still fail to do it. They understand saving, investing, and patience, but in the moment, emotions take control. As Benjamin Graham said, the investor's chief problem, and even his worst enemy, is likely to be himself. This shows that the real challenge is not the market, but your own mind. Fear is one of the strongest emotions in money decisions. When markets fall or uncertainty increases, fear rises. People panic and sell their investments to avoid further loss, but often, this happens at the worst possible time. Selling during fear locks in losses and removes the chance of recovery. Greed is the opposite emotion, but equally dangerous. When things are going well, people become overconfident. They take unnecessary risks, chase quick profits, and ignore warning signs. This often leads to losses when conditions change. The cycle of fear and greed repeats again and again. People buy when prices are high and sell when prices are low. This is the opposite of what successful investors do. As Warren Buffett said, "Be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful." This idea highlights the importance of emotional control. Controlling emotions does not mean ignoring them. It means understanding them and not letting them control your actions. Awareness is the first step. Notice how you feel when making financial decisions. Are you acting out of fear, excitement, or pressure? Once you recognize the emotion, you can pause and think clearly. Another powerful habit is to create a plan. When you have a clear plan for saving and investing, you reduce the need for emotional decisions. You follow your system instead of reacting to every change. A plan gives you direction. It reminds you of your long-term goals. As Ray Dalio emphasizes, having principles helps you stay consistent in uncertain times. Discipline is closely connected to emotional control. It is the ability to follow your plan even when it feels difficult. For example, continuing to invest during market downturns requires discipline. It goes against natural instincts, but it is often where the best opportunities exist. Patience is another key factor. Wealth building takes time, but emotions often push for quick results. People become impatient when they do not see immediate progress. They change strategies, chase trends, and lose focus. As Charlie Munger said, the big money is not in the buying or selling, but in the waiting. Waiting requires emotional strength. Another common emotional trap is comparison. Seeing others succeed can create pressure. You may feel behind or tempted to take shortcuts, all right, but every journey is different. Comparing yourself to others can lead to poor decisions. Focus on your own path. Measure your progress based on your goals, not someone else's results. Stress is also an important factor. Financial pressure can lead to rushed and emotional decisions. This is why having savings and a plan is important. It reduces stress and allows you to think clearly. Another helpful practice is to limit noise. Constant news, opinions, and updates can increase emotional reactions. Not all information is useful. Too much information can lead to confusion and anxiety. Focus on what truly matters and ignore unnecessary distractions. As Morgan Housel explains, managing money has more to do with behavior than intelligence. You do not need to be the smartest person, you need to be consistent and calm. Building emotional control takes practice. It does not happen instantly. You will make mistakes, but each mistake is a lesson. Over time, you begin to respond instead of react. You make decisions with clarity instead of impulse. Another useful approach is to slow down decisions. When faced with a big financial choice, take time to think. Avoid making decisions in moments of strong emotion. This simple habit can prevent many mistakes. It is also helpful to focus on long-term thinking. Short-term events can create strong emotions, but they often do not matter in the long run. When you shift your focus to long-term goals, short-term fluctuations become less important. As Jeff Bezos has said, if you are not willing to be misunderstood for a long time, you will never do anything original. This applies to investing and wealth building as well. Staying calm when others panic is not easy, but it is one of the greatest advantages you can develop. Emotional control also improves other areas of life. It helps in relationships, work, and decision-making. It creates stability and confidence. Over time, you begin to trust yourself. You rely less on external opinions and more on your own understanding. This independence is powerful, because in the end, the market is unpredictable, but your behavior is within your control. And that control is your greatest advantage. When you master your emotions, you remove one of the biggest obstacles to wealth. You allow your knowledge and strategies to work effectively. You stop being your own enemy and become your own strength. And once you achieve this, the journey becomes smoother and more consistent. Now that you understand how to control emotions, it is time to focus on one of the most important perspectives in wealth building. Chapter 11. Think long-term always. Wealth is not built in days, weeks, or even months. It is built over years of consistent actions and patient decisions. This is why long-term thinking is one of the most powerful advantages you can develop. Most people focus on the short term. They want quick results, fast profits, and immediate success. They react to daily changes, news, and trends. But short-term thinking often leads to poor decisions. It creates stress, confusion, and inconsistency. Long-term thinking is different. It focuses on where you are going, not just where you are today. It values steady progress over quick wins. As Warren Buffett said, the stock market is designed to transfer money from the active to the patient. Patience is at the heart of long-term success. When you think long-term, you stop chasing temporary opportunities. You focus on building something that lasts. You make decisions based on future impact, not present emotion. This applies to saving, investing, and even spending. Instead of asking what feels good now, you ask what will benefit me later. One of the biggest benefits of long-term thinking is clarity. Short-term noise becomes less important. Market ups and downs, opinions, and trends lose their power over you. You begin to see the bigger picture. As Jeff Bezos has emphasized, focusing on the long term allows you to make decisions that others may not understand in the short term, but prove correct over time. Another advantage is consistency. When your focus is long-term, you are less likely to change your strategy frequently. You stick to your plan and allow it to work. Frequent changes often reduce results. Each change resets progress and increases mistakes. Long-term thinking also strengthens patience. You understand that progress takes time. You are willing to wait and let your efforts grow. This is especially important in investing. Markets move up and down in the short term, but over the long term, they tend to grow. Those who stay invested and patient benefit the most. Those who react to short-term changes often miss the bigger gains. As Benjamin Graham said, in the short run, the market is a voting machine, but in the long run, it is a weighing machine. This means short-term movements are emotional, but long-term results reflect real value. Long-term thinking also reduces stress. When you are not constantly reacting to every change, you feel more stable. You make decisions calmly and with confidence. Another important idea is delayed gratification. This is the ability to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term benefit. For example, saving instead of spending, investing instead of consuming, learning instead of avoiding effort. These choices may feel difficult now, but they create a better future. As James Clear explains, small habits repeated over time lead to remarkable results. This is the essence of long-term thinking. It is also important to set clear goals. When you know what you are working toward, it becomes easier to stay focused. Your actions become aligned with your vision. Without goals, it is easy to get distracted by short-term desires. Another key aspect is trust. You must trust the process. Even when results are not immediately visible, you continue. This trust is built through understanding and experience. The more you learn and apply, the stronger your confidence becomes. Long-term thinking also helps you avoid mistakes. You are less likely to take unnecessary risks or chase quick gains. You evaluate decisions carefully and consider their future impact. As Charlie Munger said, it is not supposed to be easy. Anyone who finds it easy is stupid. This reminds us that patience and effort are required for real success. Another benefit is that time works in your favor. Compounding, learning, and growth all depend on time. The longer you stay consistent, the stronger the results. This is why starting early and staying committed is so important. It is also helpful to review your progress occasionally. Look at how far you have come. This builds motivation and reinforces your commitment. But avoid checking too often. Constant monitoring can lead to emotional decisions. Balance awareness with patience. Over time, long-term thinking becomes a habit. You naturally consider the future in your decisions. You build a life that is stable, strong, and growing. You stop chasing quick wins and start building lasting success. Because in the end, wealth is not about one big moment. It is about many small moments of discipline and patience. It is about staying focused when others are distracted. It is about staying calm when others are emotional. Long-term thinking gives you this advantage. It allows you to build wealth steadily and sustainably. And once you adopt this mindset, your actions begin to align with your future goals. You move with purpose instead of impulse. Now that you understand the importance of thinking long-term, it is time to learn how to avoid one of the biggest dangers in the journey to wealth. Chapter 12. Avoid get rich. Quick schemes. The idea of getting rich quickly is very attractive. It promises fast success, easy money, and instant results. It speaks directly to human desire for shortcuts. But this idea is one of the biggest traps in the journey to wealth. Most people who chase quick money end up losing time, money, and confidence. Because real wealth does not come from shortcuts. It comes from patience, discipline, and consistent effort. As Charlie Munger said, the desire to get rich fast is pretty dangerous. This simple truth explains why so many people fail. Get-rich-quick schemes often look exciting. They promise high returns with little effort. They create urgency, making you feel like you will miss out if you do not act quickly. But behind this excitement, there is usually risk, lack of transparency, or even fraud. One common pattern is unrealistic promises. If someone guarantees high returns with no risk, it is a warning sign. In reality, higher returns always come with higher risk. Another pattern is pressure. You are told to act fast, to not think too much, to trust the opportunity. This removes your ability to evaluate properly. As Warren Buffett advises, risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. When something is unclear, it is better to step back than rush forward. Get-rich-quick schemes also play on emotions. They create excitement and greed. They show examples of success to attract attention. But what you often do not see are the many failures behind those examples. Another danger is that these schemes distract you from real wealth building. Instead of focusing on saving, investing, and learning, you keep chasing the next quick opportunity. This creates a cycle of starting and stopping. You never stay consistent long enough to see real results. As Morgan Housel explains, getting wealthy and staying wealthy are different skills. Chasing quick gains often ignores this difference. True wealth is not built in one moment. It is built over time through steady progress. Think about the principles you have learned so far: saving, investing, compounding, discipline, and patience. None of these are quick, but all of them are powerful. Get-rich-quick schemes often ignore these principles. They replace them with speed and excitement. Another important point is that easy money often leads to careless behavior. When something comes quickly, it is often not valued properly. This can lead to poor decisions and losses. Slow growth, on the other hand, builds understanding and discipline. It teaches you how to manage and protect wealth. As Naval Ravikant says, play long-term games with long-term people. This means focusing on strategies that are sustainable and reliable. To protect yourself, develop a simple rule. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Take time to research and understand before making decisions. Ask questions. Look for evidence. Avoid anything that feels unclear or rushed. Another useful habit is to focus on value, not hype. Real opportunities are built on value creation. They solve problems, create benefits, and grow over time. Hype is built on excitement without substance. It attracts attention but rarely lasts. Also, learn to be comfortable with slow progress. It may not feel exciting, but it is reliable. It builds a strong foundation for long-term success. As Jeff Bezos has said, all overnight success takes about many years. This reminds us that what looks fast is often the result of long effort. Another important idea is self-control. The ability to resist tempting opportunities is a strength. It protects your time, energy, and money. Not every opportunity is worth taking. Sometimes the best decision is to do nothing. Over time, avoiding bad decisions is just as important as making good ones. This is a powerful advantage. You keep your resources safe. You stay focused on your plan. You allow your efforts to compound without interruption. Remember, wealth building is not about finding the fastest path. It is about following the most reliable path. Quick gains can disappear quickly, but steady growth creates lasting results. The goal is not just to get rich, but to stay rich. And that requires discipline, patience, and wisdom. When you avoid get-rich-quick schemes, you protect your future. You stay aligned with proven principles. You build wealth in a way that is stable and sustainable. And as you continue on this path, your confidence grows. You no longer feel the need to chase shortcuts. You trust the process. Because in the end, the slow path is often the fastest way to lasting success. Now that you understand what to avoid, it is time to focus on something that can accelerate your growth in a positive way. Chapter 13. Surround yourself with the right people. The people around you have a powerful influence on your life. They shape your thoughts, your habits, and your decisions, often without you realizing it. Your environment quietly becomes your standard. If you are surrounded by people who think small, avoid risk, and complain about money, it becomes normal for you. If you are surrounded by people who think big, take responsibility, and grow continuously, that also becomes normal. As Jim Rohn said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is not just a motivational idea, it is a practical reality. Human beings naturally adapt to their environment. We learn by observing, listening, and repeating. This means your circle can either limit you or lift you. If your environment discourages growth, you may hesitate to take action. You may doubt your goals or feel uncomfortable trying something new. But when you are around people who support growth, everything changes. You feel encouraged to learn, act, and improve. One of the most important qualities to look for in people is mindset. Do they think long-term? Do they take responsibility? Do they focus on solutions instead of problems? Being around such people helps you develop similar habits. As Tony Robbins emphasizes, proximity is power. Who you spend time with influences how you think and what you believe is possible. Another important factor is learning. Being around people who know more than you can accelerate your growth. You learn from their experiences, mistakes, and insights. This saves time and helps you avoid unnecessary errors. Mentorship is especially valuable. A mentor can guide you, correct you, and challenge your thinking. They can help you see things you might miss on your own. But remember, mentorship is not just about asking for help. It is also about being willing to learn, listen, and apply. At the same time, be careful of negative influences. Some people may not support your growth. They may discourage you, criticize your efforts, or project their own fears. This does not mean you must avoid people completely, but it means you should be aware of their influence. Limit exposure to negativity and increase exposure to positivity and growth. Another important idea is contribution. Do not just take from your environment, add value to it. Help others, share knowledge, and support growth. This creates stronger relationships and a positive cycle of learning. As Stephen Covey said, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Strong relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding. In today's world, your environment is not limited to physical space. You can choose what you read, watch, and listen to. Books, podcasts, and online content also shape your thinking. Choose them wisely. Fill your mind with ideas that inspire growth and clarity. Also, remember that quality matters more than quantity. You do not need a large circle. A few strong positive influences are enough to make a difference. Another key point is alignment. Surround yourself with people who align with your values and goals. This creates harmony and reduces conflict. When your environment supports your direction, progress becomes easier. It is also important to be patient. Building the right circle takes time. Relationships grow slowly through trust and shared experiences. Do not rush this process. Over time, your environment begins to reflect your mindset. As you grow, your circle may change. This is a natural part of progress. You may outgrow certain influences and attract new ones. This is not about judgment, it is about growth. As you build a strong and supportive environment, your confidence increases. You feel more capable and motivated. You begin to think bigger and act with more clarity. Because in the end, success is not a solo journey. It is shaped by the people you learn from, work with, and grow alongside. The right people can open doors, share knowledge, and support your path. They can help you become a better version of yourself, and as your environment improves, your results begin to improve as well. Now that you understand the power of your surroundings, it is time to focus on something that ensures your growth never stops. Chapter 14. Keep learning always. The world is constantly changing. New ideas, new technologies, and new opportunities appear every day. If you stop learning, you slowly fall behind. If you keep learning, you continue to grow. Learning is not something that ends with school. It is a lifelong process. It shapes how you think, how you decide, and how you act. As Albert Einstein once said, once you stop learning, you start dying. This highlights how important continuous growth is in life. In the journey to wealth, learning plays a central role. It helps you understand money, avoid mistakes, and recognize opportunities. Many people focus only on earning, but earning without learning can be dangerous. Without knowledge, it is easy to lose what you gain. Learning gives you the ability to manage and grow your wealth wisely. There are many ways to learn. Books, experiences, conversations, and observation all contribute. Each method adds a different perspective. Reading is one of the most powerful ways to learn. It allows you to learn from the experiences of others. You can gain insights that took others years to understand. As Warren Buffett is known for spending a large part of his day reading, his success reflects the power of continuous learning. Experience is another important teacher. When you take action, you learn through results. Success teaches what works, failure teaches what does not. Both are valuable. Do not fear mistakes, they are part of the learning process. Each mistake, if understood, becomes a lesson. As Thomas Edison said, "I have not failed, I have just found ways that do not work." This mindset turns failure into growth. Curiosity is the fuel of learning. Ask questions. Explore ideas. Do not accept things blindly. The more curious you are, the more you discover. Another important aspect is adaptability. What works today may not work tomorrow. Being open to change helps you stay relevant. As Peter Drucker said, the greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence. It is to act with yesterday's logic. This means you must update your thinking as the world evolves. Focus on learning things that create value. Not all information is useful. Choose knowledge that improves your decisions and skills. Financial education is especially important. Understanding saving, investing, risk, and money management gives you a strong advantage. But learning should not be limited to finance. Psychology, communication, and thinking skills also play a major role. These areas help you make better decisions and interact effectively with others. Another powerful idea is to learn from different fields. Combining knowledge from multiple areas creates deeper understanding. As Charlie Munger often emphasizes, having a broad range of knowledge helps you see connections others may miss. Consistency is key in learning. Learning a little every day is more effective than learning a lot occasionally. Small efforts compound over time. Make learning a habit. Set aside time regularly. Even a few minutes each day can make a big difference. Also, apply what you learn. Knowledge without action has limited value. Practice, experiment, and improve. This turns information into skill. Another important point is to stay humble. No matter how much you know, there is always more to learn. As Socrates said, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. This mindset keeps you open and curious. Learning also builds confidence. The more you understand, the more comfortable you feel making decisions. It reduces fear and increases clarity. Over time, learning becomes part of your identity. You become someone who grows continuously. This creates a powerful advantage. While others stay the same, you keep improving. Learning also helps you adapt to challenges. When problems arise, you have the knowledge to respond effectively. It turns obstacles into opportunities. Another benefit is that learning compounds just like money. Each new piece of knowledge builds on the previous ones. Together, they create a strong foundation. This foundation supports your decisions, actions, and growth. As Naval Ravikant says, the most important skill for getting rich is becoming a perpetual learner. This means always being open to new ideas and improvement. In a fast-changing world, learning is your greatest security. It ensures that you remain valuable and adaptable. It allows you to create opportunities instead of waiting for them. Because in the end, what you know and how you use it shapes your future. And as you continue to learn, your ability to build and manage wealth becomes stronger now that you understand the importance of continuous learning. It is time to focus on one final principle that brings everything together. Chapter 15. Protect your wealth. Building wealth is important, but protecting it is even more important. Many people focus only on earning and growing money, but they forget that wealth can be lost just as easily as it is created. Without protection, years of effort can disappear in a short time. As Warren Buffett said, rule number 1 is never lose money. Rule number 2 is never forget rule number 1. This simple idea highlights the importance of protecting what you build. Protection begins with awareness. You must understand the risks that can affect your wealth. These risks can come from poor decisions, unexpected events, or lack of planning. One of the biggest risks is overconfidence. When things are going well, it is easy to feel invincible. You may take bigger risks, ignore warning signs, or stop being careful. This can lead to losses. Stay humble and cautious. Even when you succeed, continue to follow your principles. Another major risk is lack of diversification. Putting all your money in one place increases vulnerability. If that one investment fails, your entire wealth is affected. Diversification spreads your risk. It ensures that one loss does not destroy everything. As Ray Dalio said, the only free lunch in investing is diversification. This shows how important it is to balance your investments. Emergency situations are another factor. Life is unpredictable. Health issues, accidents, or unexpected expenses can arise. This is why having an emergency fund is essential. It protects you from financial shocks and prevents you from using investments at the wrong time. Insurance is also an important tool. It provides protection against large and unexpected losses. While it may seem like an extra cost, it acts as a safety net. Another key aspect is avoiding unnecessary risks. High returns often come with high risk. Chasing these returns can lead to significant losses. Focus on steady and sustainable growth instead of risky gains. As Benjamin Graham emphasized, the concept of margin of safety is essential in investing. This means making decisions that reduce the chance of large losses. Emotional control also plays a role in protection. Fear and greed can lead to poor decisions that damage your wealth. By staying calm and disciplined, you reduce the risk of mistakes. Another important idea is to keep your lifestyle under control. As your wealth grows, it is tempting to increase your spending. But uncontrolled lifestyle growth can reduce your savings and investments. It can even lead to financial pressure. Maintain balance. Allow your wealth to grow faster than your lifestyle. As Morgan Housel explains, wealth is what you do not see. It is the money you keep, not the money you spend. Planning is also essential. Have clear goals and a strategy. Know how much you need, how you will grow it, and how you will protect it. Review your plan regularly and adjust when needed. Another aspect of protection is avoiding fraud and scams. Not all opportunities are genuine. Some are designed to take advantage of trust and lack of knowledge. Always verify before you invest. Understand what you are putting your money into. If something is unclear, take time to research. Do not rush. Taxes are another factor to consider. Proper planning can help you manage taxes efficiently. Ignoring this can reduce your returns. Seek knowledge or advice when needed. Also, protect your knowledge and decision-making ability. Continue learning and improving. The more you understand, the better you can protect your wealth. As Peter Lynch said, know what you own and know why you own it. This clarity reduces mistakes. Another important idea is to think long-term. Short-term decisions can create long-term problems. Stay focused on your goals. Avoid reacting to temporary changes. Protection is not about fear. It is about preparation. It is about building systems that keep your wealth safe. Over time, these systems create stability. They allow your wealth to grow without unnecessary risk. They give you confidence and peace of mind. Because true wealth is not just about how much you have, it is about how secure and sustainable it is. When your wealth is protected, you can focus on growth without constant worry. You can make decisions with clarity and confidence. You can enjoy the results of your efforts. Protection completes the process of wealth building. It ensures that what you create lasts. And when you combine protection with all the principles you have learned, you build not just wealth but lasting financial strength. Conclusion: the simple path to wealth. Getting rich is not about complexity. It is about simplicity done consistently. It is about mindset, discipline, patience, and smart decisions. As you have seen, each principle connects with the others. They work together to create a strong and stable path. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be consistent. Start small. Stay focused. Keep learning. And most importantly, trust the process. Because in the end, wealth is not built overnight. It is built over time by those who stay committed to the journey. Chapter 16. Give and Grow. Wealth is not only about what you keep, it is also about what you give. Many people think giving comes after becoming rich, but in reality, giving is part of the process of becoming rich. Giving creates a deeper meaning to wealth. Without it, money can feel empty and without purpose. With it, money becomes a tool not only for personal success but also for positive impact. As Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." This reminds us that true richness is not only measured in numbers. Giving does not always mean large donations. It can start small. It can be time, knowledge, support, or kindness. The act of giving builds character and connection. When you give, you shift your focus from scarcity to abundance. Instead of thinking about what you lack, you recognize what you have. This mindset creates confidence and gratitude. Gratitude is closely connected to growth. When you appreciate what you have, you make better decisions. You avoid unnecessary risks. You focus on meaningful progress. As Tony Robbins teaches, the secret to living is giving. This idea shows that fulfillment comes from contribution. Giving also builds strong relationships. People trust and respect those who contribute. This creates opportunities, support, and collaboration. In business and life, relationships are powerful. Often success is not only about what you know, but also about who you help and who helps you. Another important idea is that giving creates a cycle. When you help others grow, you grow as well. You learn, you improve, and you expand your perspective. This cycle strengthens over time. It builds both personal and financial growth. Giving also teaches humility. It reminds you that wealth is not only your achievement, but also influenced by opportunities, people, and circumstances. This humility keeps you grounded. It helps you make balanced decisions. As Andrew Carnegie believed, the man who dies rich dies disgraced. He emphasized the importance of using wealth to create positive impact. Another benefit of giving is that it reduces fear. When you are willing to share, you become less attached to money. You see it as a tool, not something to hold tightly. This creates a healthier relationship with wealth. However, giving should be done wisely. It is important to maintain balance. You should not give in a way that harms your own stability. First, build your foundation. Then give from a position of strength. This ensures that your giving is sustainable. Also, give with intention. Support causes, people, or ideas that align with your values. This makes your contribution more meaningful. Another form of giving is sharing knowledge. Teaching others what you have learned multiplies its value. It helps others grow and reinforces your own understanding. Mentorship is a powerful example. Guiding someone can create long-lasting impact. Giving time is equally valuable. Listening, supporting, and being present can make a significant difference in someone's life. As Mahatma Gandhi said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. This shows that giving is not only about helping others, but also about discovering yourself. Over time, giving becomes a habit. It becomes part of who you are. You no longer see it as an obligation, but as a natural expression of your values. This creates a sense of fulfillment that money alone cannot provide. It is also important to understand that giving and growing are connected. When you give, you often receive in different ways, not always directly or immediately, but through relationships, opportunities, and personal growth. This is not about expecting returns, but about understanding that value flows in many directions. A generous mindset attracts positive outcomes. Another key point is legacy. Wealth is not only about your present life, but also about what you leave behind. The impact you create, the people you help, and the values you share become your true legacy. Money may come and go, but the difference you make can last beyond you. As John D. Rockefeller used his wealth to support education, health, and social causes, his legacy continues long after his time. This shows that wealth used wisely can create lasting change. Giving also balances the journey of wealth. It prevents you from becoming too focused on accumulation alone. It reminds you of the bigger picture. It connects success with purpose. In the end, getting rich is not only about building wealth, it is about building a meaningful life. A life where you grow, contribute, and create value for yourself and others. When you combine earning, saving, investing, learning, and giving, you create a complete path. A path that is not only financially strong but also deeply fulfilling. Because true wealth is not just what you have, it is what you become and what you give. And when you understand this, you reach a level of richness that goes beyond money.